Many people think the Catholic Church started with Constantine, but what if I told you it actually started in 33 AD? Before we get into it, if you haven't already, please subscribe. It's a super simple thing that you can do to help this channel grow and to reach more people so that hopefully more people can learn about Jesus and his beautiful church. Hey friends, my name is Aarynn Bosshart with Humbled Catholic, and today I want to tackle a question that, depending on who you ask, you might get a lot of different answers. Who started the Catholic Church? Some say it was Peter, some say it was the Emperor Constantine, and some say that the Catholic Church wasn't the church Jesus founded, that it somehow changed or broke away from that original church. So today, let's look at this question from three different angles: Scripture, history, and the earliest Christians themselves. So before we dig in, let's first look at what Jesus actually did. In Matthew 16:18-19, Jesus says to Peter, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven." Jesus didn't say, "I will build a loose group of followers who all interpret scripture their own way." He said church. In Greek, ecclesia, meaning a visible community or an assembly. Then in Matthew 28:19-20, after the resurrection, he tells his apostles, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you, and behold, I am with you always, to the end of the age." That's not just a spiritual family, that's an organized mission. He gives them authority, teaching power, and a promise that he'll be with them until the end of time. So if we're asking who started the church, the short answer is Jesus did. But the next question is, which church today is historically the same one that Jesus founded? Let's jump forward about 70 years after the resurrection. By the year 107 AD, there's a Christian bishop named Ignatius of Antioch. And he's important because he was personally taught by the Apostle John. While on his way to be martyred, Ignatius wrote letters to different Christian communities, and in his letters to the Smyrnians, he said this: "Wherever Jesus Christ is, there is the Catholic Church." That's the first time in writing that we see the term Catholic Church. And notice, Ignatius isn't inventing a new label. He uses it like it's already well known. Catholic means universal, the one church that's teaching the same faith everywhere. So historically, the Catholic Church isn't something that came along centuries later. It's simply what the first Christians called the church that Jesus started. Here's where it gets even more interesting. A few decades after Ignatius, another early bishop, Saint Irenaeus of Lyons, wrote this around the year 180 AD. "We are in a position to enumerate those who were instituted bishops by the apostles and their successors down to our own times." He literally says we can trace our bishops all the way back to the apostles. That's what Catholics call apostolic succession, the idea that the church's leadership has been passed down directly from the apostles through history. And here's the crazy thing: that's verifiable history. Every bishop in the Catholic Church today can trace their line of ordination all the way back to the same apostles of the first century. Even Protestant historians like J.N.D. Kelly admit that the early Christian church was sacramental, unified under bishops, and clearly what we now call Catholic in structure. Now you might be thinking, wait, didn't Constantine start the Catholic Church in the 300s? That's a common misconception. Constantine legalized Christianity. He didn't invent it. The church was already there, teaching, baptizing, and dying for the faith for 3 centuries before Constantine even came along. If anything, he just made it legal to be what Christians already were. So if we're being honest with history, the Catholic Church didn't split off from Christianity. It is the Christianity that everyone else split from. So why does this all even matter? Maybe you're not Catholic. Maybe you don't even believe in God. But here's what's worth thinking about. If Jesus really did walk this earth, and he really is who he said he is, And he really found a church, one that's visible, historical, and still standing 2,000 years later. Then the Catholic Church isn't just one denomination among many. It's the original one. That doesn't mean Catholics are any better than anyone else. It just means history is telling a story that's worth taking seriously. Even if you don't agree with Catholic doctrine, it's at least worth asking. If this church goes all the way back to Jesus himself, could there be something more to it? So, who started the Catholic Church? Not Peter, not Constantine, Jesus Christ in 33 AD in Jerusalem. And 2,000 years later, that same church is still here, teaching the same gospel, celebrating the same Eucharist, and inviting all of us to come closer to the one who started it all. If this kind of history makes you curious, don't take my word for it. Go read the early Christians for yourselves. Ignatius of Antioch, Irenaeus, Tertullian, Augustine. You'll find the same church, the same faith, and the same Jesus. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you found it helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to Humbled Catholic, share it with a friend who's asked this question before. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments, and visit my website humbledcatholic.com to learn more about Humbled Catholic and how you can support this ministry so that I can continue to make more and better content like this. Thanks, and God bless.